Hi guys, welcome to Learning Electronics Repair. I've got some more old computers from the car boot sale, so let's have a look and see what we've got, see if we can get any of these working, okay? So the first one is quite an old machine, you can see there. It has a slide down lid, Infonet, okay? And this is an AT machine, okay? So one optical drive, DVD, but it's an AT machine, which makes me think that was added later, because in the days of AT machines we didn't have DVD drives. Yeah, you can look at the back of it. This is quite rusty, as you can see. So we have some sort of graphics card in there, which looks like it has a built-on games port. This thing here looks like a joystick port actually on the graphics card, okay? It has two USB, but it is an AT machine, so that in itself is a little bit unusual. In fact, actually, the layout of this looks like an ATX board, but AT, that is interesting. So I'm guessing this is going to be an early Pentium of some sort. But given the sort of combination of what I can see, I think this is going to be quite interesting, yeah? So let's open this up. I didn't open this up at the car boot sale. This one, by the way, I paid €20 for it. So I usually pay 15, but this one I had to pay €20. But I think it might be worth it. Let's have a look. So what do you think, guys? I think it can only be like a Pentium 1, but it's a strange combination of AT, so I really don't know. What do you guys reckon? Yeah, I've dragged it out long enough. Come on then, so you can come like 2 minutes 30 on the timestamp. Get into the comments below and tell us what you think. Yeah, before we open it, what did you think it was? Let's see. Well, it's a Pentium 2 or 3. Take that out. So Pentium 2 or Pentium 3 is a slot A machine, I think they call these things. 1 AGP, 5 PCI, 2 I, so that's quite nice. The graphics card is actually a PCI one, so there's nothing in the AGP slot. And it has ATX connections. In fact, this is ATX in actual fact. Must be the button just felt like an AT button, yeah. It clearly is an ATX machine, so I was wrong there. I think because I'm mostly interested in the parts, not the cabinet, I can't ship these things, they're too big and heavy. From the Canary Islands, I'm just going to take this one apart first and we can have a look to see what we've got. Okay, so here is the motherboard. I'm just looking for any manufacturer's mark on this. I really don't see one. What I do notice is all these capacitors on very long legs, yeah. And it looks like this is being recapped by somebody. You can see where they've done the work here. So somebody's recapped this, but they've done it in a very strange way because the capacitors are raised up quite some way from the board. If I just get that in focus, you'll see. Like so. So that's somebody's idea of recapping a board. I don't suppose any reason why it wouldn't work, but it doesn't look very good. Yeah, that's my view. This is clearly an ATX motherboard. In case some of you think they don't exist, and I would have agreed with you until a few months ago, we had a socket 370 motherboard here from the car boot sale, which was a Pentium 3, and yet the board had both ATX and AT connectors on, and it was in an AT case. Yeah, so I did actually find one Pentium 3 motherboard socket 370 AT, and that somebody told me is a unicorn. Yeah, really a mythical creature that people may not have believed existed, but it did. The processor in this one is well, it's upside down. Let's have a look. So it's a Pentium 500, 512K cache, 100 megahertz front side buzz. Yeah, so that's the processor in there. Okay, I think the best thing with this is just to try it on a known good power supply, and let's see what it actually does. Just before I do that, let's have a quick look at the other cards that came in it. Well, not exactly a card, but this is the RAM. So this is PC133. Okay. The hard drive is probably a 20 gig, I'm thinking. Yeah, without looking that number up, I think it's probably a 20 gig. This is one of the cards, just a modem card. I'm going to put that one in the bin, to be quite honest. And this is the other one, graphics card, MGA 64-bit graphics. It's a Matrox, yeah, it's a Matrox card. The connectors are corroded on the back, but may well be working. The card is from 1998. The motherboard is actually 1999, it says on it. Okay, so we have a Matrox, copyright 1997, okay? So that's the graphics card. Let's see if this motherboard works then. I'm going to try this without any RAM first. So we have a speaker attached. So hopefully it will bleep if there's any life in it. Let's see what it does. So we'll switch the power on and start. And it bleeps like there's no RAM in. Fan's a little bit noisy, I notice. This looks fairly clean actually, so I'll stick it in. Are they marked? 1, 2, 3. So this is marked 1, so I'm going to stick it in here. Okay, let's see. Asking for a graphics card, so let's put the PCI Matrox card in here. I have to balance this on the box most likely to do this. I've connected a VGA. I don't have a VGA to HDMI capture yet, so we'll have to do this the old way, which is to point the camera at the screen. And there it is, you can see it. Let's see what we get. Well, it seems to be bitching about the graphics card. See if we get a picture at all. No, we don't. Okay. I'll try it with an AGP card. So here is a known good one. Seeing as I have the cable here. Oops. This won't fit, yeah, because this has a notch here and this has a notch here. So this slot is a different voltage to this card. We'll have to find something else. Well, this is a universal one. It has the 2 notches, so it will fit in. Let's see if it'll work. Okay. Power. Go. Blue light came on the monitor. Yeah, and it's working, okay. So that board is working. We can try and boot the hard drive. It's saying it's a Pentium 3. There we can see Pentium 3 at 500 megahertz, 32 meg of RAM. Okay. I'll just try the PCI card again. Let's go. This time it's got it by the looks of it. It found it one bleep, but I don't have a picture. Okay. Yeah, no signal. I'll just try cleaning the contacts on this card actually. Let's see. Blue light came on the monitor. One bleep, but no picture. Oh, there is a picture. There we go. Yeah. So that's the PCI card that came with it. I think this is a Matrox Mystique actually. We can check in a moment, but let's see if we can actually get this to boot from the hard drive. And here we go. Drive spun up. Okay, it's detected it. Let's go into the BIOS and I'll just set the BIOS defaults. Okay. Okay. So a little noisy from the CPU fan, but working. Does the hard drive work? Oh, yes. Let's see. Hotel Rio Palace Melanares. Okay. That's not so far from here. I'm not sure if it's going to go any further than that. I'll just hit the keyboard enter, let's see. Well, it doesn't sound like it's actually accessing the hard drive at all now. Oh, try press escape. Ah, okay. So, it has some DOS program on here. Something about an alarm signal. Okay, so this was obviously used for some particular application by the looks of it. Yeah. Refrigeration. Yeah. Furnaces. Caldera. There's like a caldera. Like a crater, a cauldron, I think is the English word, yeah. Air conditioning for the floors. Hot water, sanitary. Lighting, pools. This was obviously controlling something on their system, that's all I will say. I'll also have to blur out these phone numbers, I guess. But anyway, yeah. First fire, elevator 13. Oh, I see. Okay, so the thing's working. It's obviously got some sort of custom software on here. And it was probably there just to automate something, I would think. Yeah. And it's probably complaining because things are not attached to it, okay? Right, that one's working then. Let's have a look to see what, if anything, this stuff is worth, and then we'll look at the next one. The graphics card says MY220p on the sticker, and that brings me to these things. So it is a Matrox card and not a Mystique card. Okay. Somebody thinks they're worth a lot of money. And then others don't, unless they're not exactly the same thing. Okay. Mine is probably more like this one. Let's see if any of these have actually sold. Sold items. Yeah, one sold for £10, looks like mine. Another one sold for 23. It is a Matrox Mystique 220 apparently, one sold for 35. Okay. So I think we can say mine is worth about £20 or €20, considering I have to pay about 10% commission on eBay. The processor, P3, 500. Let's have a look. Well, somebody sold a complete motherboard with processor there. Looks very similar to mine, same number of ports, for $19.95. But then that's a slot machine motherboard, that's something different. Okay, and that's the processor, 10. So I think we can say all in all, the graphics card and the motherboard and processor, about £40. I paid €20 for the machine, so that's kind of like double your money, I guess. So it could be worse than that, and possibly mine is worth a little bit more, who knows. So the only thing I really need to do with this is just to tidy up the soldering on this recapping job, get them flush with the board, give this a little bit of a scrub where the connectors are, but we have a good working machine. Let's have a look at the next one. And here it is. This one I paid €10 for, so this kind of made up for the other one that was 20, if you like. Okay, you can see a beige and silver drive in there. I again didn't have a screwdriver to hand, and neither did the guy on the stall. This has 4 USBs, so I was wondering if this actually is a newer machine. We have a graphics card with 2 VGA connectors on, and I thought this might be a PCIe machine like a socket 775. So I just pushed the little tab in a little bit there so I could have a look inside it. And I don't know if you guys can see from this angle, you probably can't, not easy to do, but this is a AGP machine. So that's all I needed to know. I don't know what's in it, I just know it's AGP, that's good enough for me. It's retro. So let's have a look to see what we have. My guess is a Pentium 4 478, because that's the most common thing I find. Let's see. It's a AMD machine. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's an AMD machine. Very dirty and dusty in there. So again, I'm going to try to just take this apart. I can see straight away the graphics card on the back of it says Matrox. I've just wiped the dirt off, so it's a Matrox card of some sort. Okay, once again, I will take this apart. 2 hard drives, 2 optical drives, motherboard and graphics card, and let's see what we have here. This time we have then a Asus motherboard, A7V600-X. I've had similar ones to this, if not the same one before. So I'm pretty sure this is like an Athlon XP. We can have a look. And we may as well have a look because we can see straight away we have some bad capacitors. So to change those, and we should change them I think before we power this up, although it may run like that, it isn't particularly good for it to do so. And if it does run like that, it may not be stable, but that probably isn't so important for testing exactly. But I'll change them. Okay, so I'll get this heatsink off and we can see what we have. So there's the processor, AMD Sempron. And we can clearly see now that we have 3 bad capacitors, which are the ones we're going to change. Okay. The graphics card is this one, so it's a Matrox G4 Plus MDH4A32G. I guess it's a 32 meg graphics card. This might mean something. If we put that into Google, we may find a better known model number. That's what we have, so it may be worth a little bit. A fairly silvery colour, very blurred. I'm sorry guys, it's the wrong angle. That one. That is a CD rewriter. Okay, so we have that. And we have a we have a CD-ROM. 48 times, okay. Can't be bothered to focus it. We have 160 gig. and a 40 gig. This is probably the boot drive, just a guess. We should be able to tell actually, because one is probably set to master and one is set to slave. Yeah, this one has a jumper on it, and we'll have to focus it so you can see it, but yeah, it has a jumper there. Look at the second position, and that jumper in the second position. That is set to cable select, so that tells us absolutely nothing. Okay, the other one, well, I'd assume they're both set to cable select. That has no jumpers on it. Oh, that's set to master. No jumper, master. Okay. Let's get on to changing these capacitors then. Actually, I'm just removing these capacitors. I'm just going to show you on this board. So you will see that on here, the white mark on the silk screen is the positive end, not the negative end. Okay, just make sure you're aware of that. Sometimes they are this way round. Don't just assume that the white is a negative, because if you do, you will fairly soon see the error of your ways. Okay, just heat it and pull it out. These capacitors, they are 1500 6.3s, and they have clearly gone. Yeah, just a little bit of fresh solder. They're easy to remove then. Okay, it helps a lot to warm the area up while you use the solder sucker to clear these. Probably go first time if we do it this way. I'm just going to change hands actually, use the desolder with the right hand. I am right-handed. Okay. This is the way to do this, guys, you can see. Yep, first time everyone. This one doesn't have a 12 volt connector, the 4-pin type. It's all powered from here, so probably these VRMs are running from the 5 volt supply. We'll try it first without any RAM. Let's just see if we can get any bleeps out of it. So, power on, start. Well, it's bleeping, so it's trying to boot. This is a half a gig. Stick this in. Okay. Should bleep without a graphics card, or does this have onboard? No, it doesn't have onboard video, so you'd expect it to bleep, saying there's no graphics card. Possibly that, let's see. Or it may still not be seeing the RAM. Graphics card in. Was that the same bleep it was making before? Let's see, we'll take the RAM back out, which is actually difficult when the graphics card is in. Okay. Let's reset that again. Let's try again. Yeah, same. Okay, different slot. Okay, that started by itself that time, same bleeping. Again, started by itself again, same bleeping. Let's try another strip of RAM. So this is DDR400. Here's another strip. Okay. Now it's bleeping asking for a graphics card. Move those out of the way. Okay. Try. Same. This could be the same problem as the last one, which would just be a matter of cleaning the contacts. But I'll try and reseat it several times. Okay, try that. Yeah, that was it. Oh, there's a bleep but no picture. Okay. Maybe this has to go in the other slot when you're using one monitor. Not sure, let's have a look. Okay. Bleep. And the light's on. And we have a picture in the BIOS. Okay, I've connected my graphics card now. This has the DVI out, so I can connect to the capture card. And there we have the capture card. Let's see what happens. I've also attached the hard drive. And it's starting. I can hear the hard drive, one bleep, and it's booting up. Okay, we're in the BIOS, so let's just save the factory defaults. Okay, so load setup defaults, yes. Exit and save changes, yes. I do find these old BIOS much easier to navigate than the newer ones. It's like we went backwards somewhere. I don't quite understand it. Okay. Can it boot from this drive? That's the question. Okay. Hard drive error, basically. Let's try the other one. And go again. Back into the BIOS. It is seeing the hard drive. I'll just load the defaults again. There's probably no CMOS battery, or at least there is a CMOS battery, but it's probably completely flat. Well, it knows the hard drive is there, 160 gig. What's it going to do? Ah, Windows XP, there we go. We were discussing in the comments on a recent video actually, Windows XP. So some of you guys are saying that you can't take an XP drive off one machine. So it's been installed on one machine and then stick it on another machine. It will never work. Now, in my experience, it's not quite as black and white as that. Sometimes they will boot up and then find loads of new devices and work, and sometimes they won't, and I can't honestly predict which is going to happen. But in my experience, sometimes with an XP drive, stick it on another machine or the motherboard and it will boot. Windows 98 probably even more likely to boot actually in my experience, and just find lots of new drivers. But it's hit and miss, guys. So this has a password by the looks of it. Yeah, asking for the password. Okay, but it is working, this machine, so simple on that. bad capacitors. That's 2 out of 2. Let's have a look to see if this one's worth more than the €10 I paid for it. So we have now a A7 V600 motherboard. We're still in the sold listings. So this will show us what's selling and for how much, which is not the same thing as what people are asking for. Not necessarily. Although why that happens I don't know, because it's so simple to go and see what things are selling for and then you know what to ask. I really don't understand why some people ask, prices that are much more. Well, we have one there, motherboard. Oh, that's parts only though, so we can't count that. And then we have a brand new one that sold for 160, but that's boxed and brand new. Then we have one that sold for £10. So I would have to say mine is worth about what I paid for the machine, about £10. But then you see one there sold for £15 parts only. And then one sold for 10 working. It doesn't make sense, does it, guys, really? Let's see if any of these are actually for sale. Yeah, there's one there and they're asking £60. I mean, that's never used, okay? Another one for 39, another one for 78. So really, another one for 33. That's an auction, but with no bids. So the prices of these things is really all over the place. I'm going to say mine's worth about £10. I mean, that's the cheapest one I can see that's actually sold. Maybe 20. Okay, let's look at this graphics card. Well, there we are. That's bringing 2 of those up. One bite now at 29, one at 20, and one at 21, and then one's 105. Okay, dual VGA, another one that's 80. So really, prices are all over the place again. Let's see if any of these have sold. Well, one sold for 24, and another one sold for 24. That's 2 sold for the same price, basically. That's the same as mine. So I think we can say 24. Shall we say 15 for the motherboard? And the one for 26. They're fairly reliably selling for that, but then one went cheaper, okay? But these were sold 1, 2, 3, all around the same price. So 24, 15 for the motherboard, let's say 40. Machine cost me €10, so that one was not bad. Let's have a look at what else we can fix. This then is the next one. So this isn't a computer, as you can see, but it is a motherboard. So this was just a board by itself. The pins in the socket look okay. After some haggling, I paid the guy €15 for this one. I have no idea if it's working or not. This is from a different guy I've been buying the computers from, but I have bought from him before a number of times. That motherboard I had with the i7-7700K came from this guy, and both the motherboard and processor were good. That was the Z270 board that I'm now using to record these videos with that same processor, so it's definitely working, yeah. So we have this one, no backing plate, IO shield. Well, let's see if we can get this working. So obviously we need a processor. This has one broken connector on the memory there. I didn't notice that at the time, otherwise I almost certainly would have offered him less. But if I can get it working, that'll probably be okay. I may be able to take a connector from another broken one, I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like the bottom part of it's actually still there. So whether you can actually take one of these off one board and fit into another one on the DIMM slots, I've never tried that. Yeah, let's have a quick look. So I've never tried this to see if you can take one of these off and fit it onto another one. I mean, you can see that operates something inside there. So it'll probably latch anyway, but I'm not sure how that actually works. It's like there's more than one moving part. Carlos at Retro Upgrade is probably the guy I'll ask him when I see him. Can we actually repair these things if we get this one working? So let's see first of all what the problem is with it, if any. This is the CPU socket. It all looks good. It's a Z77 motherboard. Gigabyte, which I think is like a 3rd or 4th generation I whatever. So I'll have a quick look, I'll see if I can find a suitable CPU, and let's get started. Okay, so I found an i5-3330 that's compatible with this board. It is basically what I thought. It's second and third generation, Core I whatever. Okay, so we'll just check if there's any shorts on here. One side of this connector will go to ground anyway, that side, and the other side should read high resistance. Yeah, that's in kilo ohms and climbing. Kilo ohms. Kilo ohms. Kilo ohms. Okay, I'm happy enough with that. I'll attach a switch and a bleeper. We won't put any RAM in, as I normally don't, as you've noticed. First of all, let's see if we get any bleeps out of this. Power on. Start. And then like it tripped out or something happened. Okay. Well, I didn't see any shorts on the 12 volts. Is there any shorts on any other rails? So have a look. So 3.3. No, that's fine. 5 volts. That's fine. 12 volts on here. That's fine. And that's fine, so it's not like there's a short anywhere. Okay, let's go to volts. See if we have a 5 volt standby. I don't actually see. Oh, wrong wire. There. Yeah, 5 volts. Now it's right. Ah, this time it powered up and bleeping. So whatever it did the first time, it didn't do it again. Maybe that's just saying there's no RAM. Bit strange that, guys. I'm not quite sure what exactly happened there. So it's saying DDR1 and 2 are these ones. So this is the one with the broken socket. But it holds them perfectly, yeah. And this is the other one. So that's 1 and 2. Okay. I mean, maybe you should actually go 1, 3, 2, 4. Maybe that's not right, but let's just try it, okay. That's in. What does it do? Well, it doesn't bleep, but it doesn't do anything. Fan's off now. It's gone off again. Try again. No. Okay. Power off. I had 5 volt standby. I can still see it on my meter, by the way. Take that off now. Let's go again. So power on. Use the start button. This is now displaying something. Okay. And it looks like it's booting. This has onboard video. Let's have a look. I'll just switch it off again. Let's get the capture card connected. Okay, I have the capture card attached to the onboard DVI. Let's see. So, power on. Counting up. Okay, you can see it. Okay. One bleep and we have a picture. Okay. So this board looks like a good one. I'll load the BIOS default, so let's see if we can get an operating system to load up. I'm not sure I have these two of the right sorts, obviously in single channel mode. Maybe we can see. I think while I'm at that, I'll also fit a new BIOS battery as well if it needs one, the CMOS battery. Let's have a quick look. That's a good one. Okay. Okay, and it's asking for a hard drive. I'll stick my known good Windows 10 test drive on. Let's see what it does. Okay. Looking good, yeah? Okay. So we're in Windows. Let's see if we have Specky on here. Yes, we do. Yeah, it's running dual channel 2 gig. They are two 1 gig strips actually. So that is running as I would expect to in dual channel. So that's running okay. Regarding the RAM slot, these are actually quite easy to repair, so I will do that, but I'm going to make a separate short video about that. It makes it much easier for people searching for that information to find it if it's in the title of the video. So I'm sure you guys will excuse me in putting that on a separate video, but I'll do that very shortly. Okay guys, so that'll do for this one. 3 out of 3 all working. One needed recapping, one needs a little job doing on the RAM slot, but other than that, yeah, they're good. I have quite a lot of other stuff at the moment in the workshop. I really do need to clear some space, so we'll be doing this regularly, probably a bit more regularly than usual actually, till I run down the pile of hardware I have sitting on one side. So I hope you enjoy these videos, guys. I never know what I'm going to find when I start these, and I guess you never know what's going to happen when you start watching, and that's the fun of it, yeah? Okay, hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you all soon on another Learn Electronics Repair video. Ciao for now, guys.